Woman reveals what makes you a boring man. I know a lot of you guys dread the platonic, boring interactions, and it's something that you guys need to fix. Otherwise, you're going to be blowing out a lot of opportunities, even with women who actually like you. So let's see what she has to say.
I feel like not enough people warn you that when you start making the right choice in dating, start going for emotionally available men that are genuinely interested in you and make that very clear from the get go, it gets a little bit more boring. Dating gets a little bit more boring because it's no.
Right. So obviously, she probably has some trauma issues here, but and that's why I tell you a lot, guys, to leave that mystery, right? Let her find things out. Let her work for it. Don't give the whole piece of the pie right away. If she knows she can have you, if she knows that you're, set in stone, things aren't as exciting. Us as humans, guys, it's just human nature. When we don't have to work for something as hard, we take it for granted much more.
Longer up down will they won't they, this like chemical, like you're getting rewarded one second and you're not the other the next. You're getting consistent predictable behavior, and that to the brain is not exciting. Otherwise, drugs wouldn't be exciting to people. It's very predictable, smooth sailing, and stable. And while that's great in the long term because you don't go crazy, it also makes you realize that, oh, like, I'm not gonna have these like quick dopamine hits in like a kind of toxic way, but that's the reality. If you want to continue dating high school.
Guys, to be honest, like what we teach is those quick dopamine hits, right? When me and Jesse teach flirting, right, cutting the thread, kink frame, all these things are meant to get emotional reactions out of women, and that's why they work so freaking well, right? Most of you guys are having that platonic conversation that's on this flat zone, right? When you add in these little things that we teach you, by the way, there's a free 5-step training in the pinned comments that teach you these things, fellas. Check it out. It takes it from that boring plane to those little emotional spikes and those little hits, those little, like she's describing here, hits of dopamine is what actually gets her excited, triggered. That's what makes her be like, oh, there's something about this guy. He just gets it. Those little hits, that's what it does.
Level emotional maturity men, then go for it. Keep going for those men that don't choose you, that text you every 5 days. Or you can go for the guy who will respond to you as soon as he sees his message. Like, it's not like.
Right. I'm not saying you don't have to text her every 5 days. You have to be extremely toxic. That's not what I'm saying, guys. And that's what she's saying here, but that's not what you have to do. You have to be able to play both sides of the fence. So you have to be able to flirt, build emotion, but also be boyfriend material. Also give her room to find out more about you. Why give her the whole thing? She literally doesn't want you, like, she doesn't want you to give her the whole piece of the pie. I know you guys will think that's great. She doesn't want it. She wants to work with it. Women want something they have to work for.
Like, it might be less exciting, but it's in the long term. It protects your heart, your brain, your nerves. I feel like not enough people.
And that's why a lot of guys will say women pick bad guys long term. Yes, a lot of them do, right? Because they're looking for those quick dopamine hits. Guys who give them that, and usually the guys who tend to give them those things are bad dudes, right? Guys who don't care about them, guys who text them once in a blue moon, guys who are banging 12 other girls, and she's the fifth option, right? But you don't have to be a bad guy to give her those dopamine hits. That's what I want you fellas to understand, right, guys? You don't have to be a bad guy. That's why I talk about playing both sides of that fence. Be boyfriend material, but also be the guy who gets her excited. Be the guy who makes her work. Be the guy who gives her emotion. But you don't have to be a dick, right? If that's what she needs you to be, then boys, it's time to bring her to the streets where she belongs, right, guys? That's where she belongs. If she needs both of those things, but it's just female nature to want that exciting type of dynamic, right? Look at the books they read, look at the things they're interested in, right? They want that flirty, mysterious dynamic, and it's really not that hard to bring it if you guys just put in a little bit of effort. All right, boys, quick video today. Again, a free training in the pinned comments. Check it out, boys, if you haven't already. Thank you guys. We'll talk soon.